What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel as you come in and check out the content. I got Clayton in here today. Then got my man Jim. Yeah, man. I think we in line for another good show. I do want to get to that collusion. What we was just talking about, the collusion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because yesterday I didn't really, we ain't really dive into it too much. I just kind of got, sidetracked with some other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, I think that collusion is interesting. But
Right.
I do want to start the show off though and ask y'all about because I've been hearing a lot of people talk about like Caitlin Clark, like potentially like could she leave the Indiana Fever, right? And then some people even carried it a step further and said maybe she should leave and take her talents to play like overseas and stuff like that. So I said, well, maybe we can examine that,
Mm.
and see like what are the what y'all think about that? Is it a possibility that she could force a trade out of Indiana?
That has a lot of implications.
Uh-huh.
That tears at a lot of things that the WNBA and Caitlin and the Fever are trying to actually solidify and build up.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of a scorched earth approach, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anybody walks away looking too great.
Mm-hmm.
Caitlin probably would be the winner in all that, but it then kind of she loses some clout with fan base and sponsors.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see her running away to a different league.
Mm-hmm.
I think the business, the smart business is to make it work in Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
And as a last resort, if she can't do that, make it work somewhere else.
Yeah.
But I don't see her leaving the W.
Yeah.
The woman, Christine Brennan, the one
Mm-hmm.
that's bringing out this book, she believes that Caitlin can do the unthinkable and, along with partners in business, start her own league.
Ooh.
That's what she believes she has because she is the needle. She
Mm-hmm.
draws the eye. So wherever she's at, people coming to view it.
Yeah.
So she believes she can create her own league. I don't think Caitlin personally wants to leave Indiana or wants to leave the W because this is the very league that inspired her in the first place. It was always her dream since a child. So, but could she do it? I mean, absolutely. Like, who wouldn't want their gate going up, ticket prices going up, merch going up, TV viewership going up? I think she could go to any other team. And I think the Fever is an organization that they don't like to hold players hostage, as you can see with DeWanna Bonner.
Mm-hmm.
If for any reason Caitlin felt like the relationship is fractured and she wanted out, I think they would grant her that just out of respect and just the type of organization it is.
Well, let me say this right though. Like with Caitlin Clark, now there's a difference between letting DeWanna Bonner, 37 years old, you know what I mean, out of her contract and out of her obligation, then you know what I mean, like then letting Caitlin Clark go, So I think they may try to, with that type of situation, may just try to try to sway her from doing something like that. But I do think that because of her fan base, she has leverage that most players most players don't have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if they held her hostage, the fan base would turn on the organization. See, the fan base, to me, the fan base going where she goes.
Right.
I really believe that. Even Indiana's.
Yeah. Well, I think everybody would agree with that. And so that's why I think Caitlin Clark, she do have leverage. Like, and if she wanted to start her own league, or wanted to get her way, find a way to get out of Indiana, she would be able to do something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be that even the threat of those kinds of decisions could be enough leverage to kind of readjust the situation.
Right. Let me see. Mr. Soul Auctioneer, welcome back to the chat. Let me say what he says. Since the league won't give Mahomes an expansion team, I say he should start his own new league and snipe all the players that he can.
Yeah. Mahomes was trying to get a WNBA expansion team. He was trying to get one. Yeah. I didn't know you got denied already, though. I didn't know that.
I mean, they've been floating the KC as a possible expansion spot for a while.
Right.
So if that's already shut down, I'd actually be shocked, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
I think though, I think it's a good idea. Like when you have somebody who clearly, like with people who come in and they clearly have the money to finance something like that, then they come with the fan base and the attraction. I think, those type of partnerships can help the WNBA grow.
Yeah.
I don't know why they wouldn't look at that.
And Kansas City would be a great spot for one.
For WNBA.
For W. And Brittany Mahomes, she's part owner of the KC Current, right? The women's soccer team. And so there's already a pretty good women's sports base here in Kansas City. So I think it'd be good.
The one thing about Mahomes starting a league, though, I think it would take corporate backing, corporate sponsorship. I think it would take a bigger company, a bigger entity than Mahomes to actually start a new league.
And that's easier said than done, right? Because some of the people that he might go to for sponsorship and for backing may already have relationships with, NBA and WNBA players. I mean, partners in that. So that'll be hard, but I don't know.
But I think somebody like a Jeff Bezos of Amazon, some of these type people could probably partner with Caitlin and create a league, but I don't think Mahomes is in that position to do that.
Right. Yeah, he more along the lines of being able to for a team, before a league.
Yeah, not for a league.
Yeah, that's different. I think he would need that kind of backing though. Because all right, now and part of the reason why I bring this up is because, do you think that when you talk about Caitlin Clark, I think she's shown a lot of patience when it comes to trying to do things not her way, but like the coach's way, and then but most people outside of that circle say, Caitlin Clark needs to run. She needs to be on ball as much as possible. Whereas though sometimes Stephanie White don't seem to buy into that philosophy, and she don't want Caitlin Clark to always be on ball. She don't want to run as much as Caitlin Clark, will want to or need to. So Caitlin Clark is just really demonstrating a whole, a lot of patience when it comes to that.
Yeah, and we kind of had that conversation last season about hey, what's the Fever going to do, and there was the criticism about not using Caitlin correctly early in the season. By the end of the season, things changed up. They got a rhythm, they got a chemistry, they adjusted the offense. Who knows? Maybe we're going to see the same repeat of that kind of dynamic this season. Either they're getting better or they're getting worse. And at this point, it feels like they're slightly better than they were at the beginning of last season. But if they're not making big strides, the problem isn't Caitlin.
Right.
And I think it's only been 2 months into the season with Stephanie as well. You know, so Caitlin does seem to be trying to appease her head coach, and she wants to do things for her head coach. She doesn't seem like she has the type of spirit to disregard the coach, talk bad about the coach. She's going to go along because of her upbringing, her makeup, the type of person she is. But I would say being extremely patient is you go through a year or two like this and you just still, to me, that's being patient. And I don't think it's time right now to for her to panic, to push back, to jump ship, to do. I don't think it's time for that yet. But I do believe if she's 100% healthy, Stephanie White ain't gonna be able to slow her pace.
And so Mr. Soul Auctioneer also agree. He says that she's a team player, and she wants to do what's right. And so that's to my question, like how much patience, and will that work against Caitlin Clark in the long run? Remember when what was the guy? Kevin Garnett. He was with the Timberwolves for all those years, and he was dedicated to the team. And so, like had Kevin Garnett decided earlier in his career that Minnesota just wanted to put butts in the seat. More so than they wanted to put a team around Kevin Garnett. So
that's a tradition in Minnesota sports.
Yeah. Right. So could we find Caitlin in that same scenario as Kevin Garnett?
I think it's a different organization. Indiana Fever. It's a different organization. Like I stated yesterday, Lynn Dunn used to be the GM. Kelly Crosskoff came in, but they moved Lynn Dunn to an executive position and advising all this. She's already made a statement about Stephanie's coaching and saying, if you want the players to do certain things, you need to be drilling this in practice and this, that. So she's already critiquing the head coach. I don't believe the Fever organization. And get beyond Kelly and Amber Cox. Look at the ownership. They own the Pacers and the Fever. I don't believe that organization is going to sit around and waste Caitlin Clark. I just do not believe that whatsoever. They will make moves. They will not waste that girl.
Yeah. Well, I hope you're right. It's just, in my opinion, it's a gamble. You know what I mean? I still think it's a gamble. And Kent Carlson, welcome back to the chat. Kent says, well, we see the front office admit with Bonner, and let me see that, and tried to change Caitlin Clark to slow down, to slow her down. And we also see with the Howard interview confirms about the lies that were told. And that's, I'm glad he brought that up, right? I watched that Natasha Howard interview, and from the way she spoke in that interview, it just seems like some promises were made to her, and the promises that were made to her really didn't, it was something that wouldn't benefit the team or Caitlin Clark as far as like being, the playing style that they need to play to be successful. So I appreciate that, Kent. But what y'all think about that?
I understand that. But here again, let's not confuse the front office who's running the show, confuse them with ownership. So right now they're doing a job. But like I say, I believe ownership, if Amber and Kelly is not doing a good job with the team, they both would be replaced. So will the I just don't think the Indiana Pacer organization is going to let this administration waste Caitlin. You understand what I'm saying? But I heard Tosh Howard's interview, some of it, clips of it and stuff like that. And it sounded like they were saying things to them girls, promising them things to get them in. And I don't necessarily know if it was a lie, because sometimes this is your vision, but yet it just doesn't fit with your personnel you got. So.
So let me see. Roman Milson said that go play in Europe, Caitlin, before the WNBA goons cripple you.
Oh man.
Yeah, I was like, well, how much patience do Caitlin Clark exercise before she, because not, and you're right, the Timberwolves are not like the Fever as far as their organization. They may not be, but still, it's something to consider when you think about, like, as a player, you have a window of opportunity, and then like Rohan Milson says that you don't want to get injured waiting on some, what I mean, the team to make a decision.
Yeah. Well,
So
and we talked about it yesterday as well. The other component to that is how the WNBA needs to up their game. The refs need to be more consistent and be more knowledgeable and experienced, because they're looking a little inexperienced and indecisive, and it's not a good look right now.
Yeah.
The coach for the Minnesota Lynx, Cheryl Reeves, she spoke to my point yesterday when I was saying that they don't really have the resources at this point to upgrade the officiating. That has to come with time. She didn't say it in the same words that I said. I was saying it's about not having the money yet, but she was saying it as well, that these refs, everything is happening fast, and it's going to take time to upgrade the referees. But she said it, she said, Stephanie White said it best. Everything is getting better except the officiating. So league-wide, it's becoming more and more of a concern about getting the officiating consistent. And I think part of this new collective bargaining and everything that's getting ready to happen with them, the officiating it has to get addressed.
Yes.
Kelsey Plum, right? Somebody put a social media post out. They were saying that Caitlin ain't the only one in a shooting slump. They showed Sabrina over her last 3 games. They showed Kelsey over her last 3 games. Paige over her last 3 games from 3. All of them are shooting real bad. So Kelsey Plum answered, yeah, you're right, because we're tired. And she's saying that the officiating and then the schedule, all these back-to-backs. So she was like, we got to get better officiating, more consistency, and we need to get a better schedule. So you get a better product out there. But that's what Kelsey Plum said. We tired, so it's a whole bunch going on right now with the league. And I think some of these matters going to get addressed.
Yeah. Now, it's one thing when you have like things outside of your organizations that's working against you. You know what I mean? Then you can rally your team. It's like us against the world type. Y'all can take that approach. But like some of what's going on in-house, like I said, the situation with DeWanna Bonner, then you had Natasha, how she coming there looking to have a larger role than what she expecting a larger role. And then sometimes when you see, you don't see the support as far as like when Caitlin Clark is getting roughed up and stuff like that, like with other teams. And I was reminded yesterday when Candace Parker first came to the league and they had a big brawl with Candace Parker in Detroit, and they had Michael Cooper on one side coaching, then you had Bill Lambier on the other side coaching, and it just turned into a big brawl. But you know what I mean? But Candace did get that support from her teammates, and people not really used to seeing, your teammates just helping you up, or you know what I mean? They want you to get in and mix it up.
Yes.
And we're not getting that except for Sophie Cunningham.
And that's what I said last week on Saturday. That was, that frustrated the hell out of me.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't need I don't need the team to go in there and just start swinging.
Right.
But you got to get in people's faces, and you got to tell them that, hey, we're not going to put up with that crap.
Yeah.
And it just felt a little soft in the moment for me.
It did. I think, like you said, I mean, I just think that you have to match their energy, because if they don't, if they don't fear any type of repercussions from, pulling her head, knocking her down, poking her in the eyes, and they think all you're going to do is just jump in between, then, that to me is that you're not really matching the energy. and you give them a psychological and a physical advantage. And it's hard to really win like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's why I think a lot of what's is going to even the lady, what was her name? Ari McDaniels, right? McDonald's, I'm sorry. Ari McDonald said that players are really around the league because of officiating. They really pushing the limit because they know that ain't nothing really gonna happen to them. So they pushing it.
Yeah. As far as Tosh Howard wanting a bigger role, I think she understands now what her role is. They didn't play enough games now. When they did that interview, they was 6 and 7. When she did that interview, it was right before the Seattle game. I think Tosh understands her role at this point. She might have came in with those expectations, but it is what it is at this point. So
do y'all feel like she was kind of misled a little bit about the young lady about a coach, Stephanie?
Yeah, it's hard to say. I don't know, because sometimes, like I remember Tosh Howard first interview press conference, and she talked about her goals, and she said to be the MVP. Now, I don't know if that they gassed her up like she was going to play that big of a role on the Fever. To me, because when I heard Stephanie White always talking, she always was talking about their core three: Kelsey, Aaliyah, and Caitlin, and the other ones coming around to help.
Right.
So that's what she was saying publicly.
Yeah.
Right.
So Natasha Howard was hearing this publicly.
Yeah.
So I don't understand how she felt like she was going to have a bigger role.
Yeah, it's professional these are professional athletes, and sometimes so you've got to have a lot of confidence. You have to have a certain level of ego, and sometimes you just hear what you want to hear.
You hear what you want to hear,
yeah. Because Natasha Howard even said something about like challenging for like league MVP and stuff like that.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Right. How is that even reasonable when you playing on a team with what I mean with like a generational type talent?
Right.
So I don't know how she even had that.
And listen, Stephanie White has been clear from day one. We building around that young core. It's all about Kelsey, Aaliyah, and Caitlin. She's been clear about that. Yeah. So I don't know where Tosh got that from.
But look, are you confident? Are y'all confident with this core that they have with Kelsey?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah. Caitlin 100% healthy. The way Aaliyah Boston has improved, she's dominant now. Kelsey, she's got her confidence. She's not second guessing anymore. She's used to playing on that light, under that microphone. She's gotten accustomed. Lexi Halden stepped up. Sophie, this little point guard they got, Ari McDonald.
Oh, I like her. Yeah,
she pushes pace and everything like that. And I'm gonna tell you, man, a KK. What's a girl, Timpson? Jim? McKay, the girl from Florida State.
Michaela
Timpson.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, this girl is going to be an excellent defensive player. She's going to be excellent. They give her more minutes, give her more minutes. Bree Turner, she needs Bree Turner minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think that's the girl. Michaela Timpson.
Michaela Timpson.
So I feel confident. I mean, we saw what the Fever did last year when they didn't have it. And then don't forget about Dee. She's gone overseas right now. She's a great stretch big. She's really good for them. So I feel real confident with that three because I mean, you saw how they played the Liberty twice this year, and you didn't get much from DeWanna the first game, and then you didn't get much from Natasha. When they're going up against some good bigs, Natasha Howard game gets a little exposed. She's not on that level with the Asia Wilsons and the and the girl in Atlanta, Jones, and Brianna Stewart and Jacqueline Jones and all. She's not on that level.
Yeah.
You know, but no, I like that core. I think the core, it's going to be hard to beat them, especially if Caitlin 100% healthy. She's got to be 100% healthy though. That's the challenge.
So and circling it all the way back around to where we started, they've got to solidify their identity, right? Because what they started off with in this slowed down offense is not their strength.
Yeah. Well, another thing I think that hurts them is when, like, late in the games when they go small. They went small against the Aces, and I thought that hurt them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I thought it hurt them. And that wasn't the first game that they went small like that.
And that's coaching.
Yep. Right. Exactly.
Yeah. But you know, she's learning her lineups and stuff like that too. Like I said, we'll see. But I definitely got confidence in them girls, especially the way Aaliyah playing right now. It ain't too many bigs in the league that can handle her right now.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. I really like what I'm seeing out of Aaliyah.
Yeah.
You know, and like we said in a previous podcast, you can tell she been in that lab. You know what I mean? She worked on a game. She looked good last year, but she looked even better this year.
She's highly improved.
I think
highly
that
improved.
the way she moved on the court, because she know that Caitlin is looking for her, then she's moving to the spots where she, you know, to the open spots, and just trusting that she's going to get, you know, she's going to receive that ball. So that chemistry between those two, you know what I mean?
All three of them. Actually, all four of them. The chemistry between Lexi, Kelsey, Aaliyah, and Caitlin, they have it. Yep. And I like the fact that Lexi got inserted into the starting lineup. She's a menace. She's a great defensive player. She's a great two-way player. She's a hustle player. She can score now. She's got a mid-range. She's layups. She can shoot the three. I think she's got the highest three-point field goal percentage in the whole WNBA.
Nice.
Yeah. So let me see what Jeff G 1524 said. Leaving the Fever. If officiating and league animosity don't change, I can see her leaving the WNBA. Yeah. So, and that's what some people is. But like you said, it's easier said than done. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like to leave the entire league, I think it's easier said than done.
I don't think
that base.
Yeah, I don't think the league would let it get that bad. They will.
Yeah.
I mean, they understand. Hey, this is like Clayton said. She's the needle.
Yeah. I think so. Yeah. No. What about?
I think we lost Clayton.
Oh, we did. Okay. Yeah, he froze up.
Yeah,
he froze up. But so.
Oh, there he is.
Am I back?
Yeah. Well, not. I can't.
My
see
voice
you.
is.
Yeah, your voice is.
Hold up. Let me go out and come back in.
All right. No problem. Yeah. So Jim, what do you think about like as far as the MVP race though? Do you think like is Caitlin in the race with? I think in my opinion, I think it's Nafisa, Talia, and Sabrina Ionescu.
Yeah.
Right. I did at first. At one time, I had Caitlin in there with Asia Wilson, but Sabrina, I like she's having a pretty good season up in with the Liberty.
Yeah, I mean those are the two teams right there that are just heads above everybody else, right? The Lynx and the Liberty, they're getting it done, and those two are really well. I mean, the Liberty's loaded, first of all, but Nafisa's definitely. I mean, she's doing her thing, and where Caitlin is kind of dropped off is just the injury bug, right? I mean, that's keeping her out of the conversation. I think we'll see how she does as she gets closer to 100%. But yeah, you're right. It's the way the Lynx are playing and the way the Liberty are playing, they're showing their talents.
Yeah, they
And
definitely.
and those leaders are at the top.
Yeah. So Eastside Legend, welcome back.
Mhm.
He said Eastside Legend says, I always thought that Caitlin would never play 10 years in the WNBA.
That's
So that was
interesting.
yeah. So
I
Yeah,
wonder
that's a
why he
take.
felt that way. Did he think that she wouldn't hold up physically, or lack of interest, or what I'm wondering why did he think that? Because that's very interesting.
mm-hmm. Yeah, Eastside. Yeah, if he could let us know
Mm-hmm.
why he feel like he didn't think she would play, in years. That
Yeah.
is interesting. But let me see. So Eastside also said, I don't think that anyone on the Liberty should get MVP. That team is too loaded. Yeah, they are. I mean, they just gonna be hard. The Liberty really gonna be hard to beat just because they got the Sabrina Nescu shooting the jump, but then you got Stewie with the mid range, and then you got Jonquel Jones playing on the block. So
Mm-hmm.
if you take one of those players away, which is hard, then you still got that's that three-headed monster basically.
So who off the Liberty is in MVP conversation? I
Who
don't
would
think any of them are.
I like Sabrina Nescu in that conversation as far as
Her
MVP.
numbers are lower than Caitlin's. She only
Yeah,
averaged 18 a game,
let me
5 assists.
yeah, let me
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
all right, so let me see here with the WNBA stats, right?
Mm-hmm.
So all right, so Nafisa Kalia, right? We got
She the
Nafisa,
one.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Nafisa Kalia, she leading in points, 24. She's averaging 24 points a game. Nafisa Kalia is. Then you got Asia Wilson behind her, Brianna
Mm-hmm.
Stewart,
Mm-hmm.
Kelsey Plum. Kelsey Plum is having a very good season too. But she wouldn't be in that conversation though.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. Let me see. As far as assists, then we got Alyssa Thomas,
Mm-hmm.
Natasha Cloud, Skylar
Mm-hmm.
Diggins is having a good season. At the bottom for assists, you got Paige Beckers.
Mm-hmm.
Now with Paige Beckers, her injury, they say it's not really serious, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that she should be back soon. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
let me see. 3-pointers made. You got Ryan Howard.
Mm-hmm.
She's looking good. Kayla McBride, Caitlin
Mm-hmm.
Clark is in there, and then we got Kelsey Plum again. Let me see. Rebounds. You got our girl Angel Reese. Let me
Mm-hmm.
see. Jonquel Jones, Asia Wilson, Zara Stevens, Nafisa Kalia is in there too with
Yeah.
rebounds. So
Yep.
she's
Mm-hmm.
doing it up. Block shots. You got Asia Wilson, averaging 2.8. Alana Smith. Let me see. Nafisa Kalia again is
Yeah.
in there. So
Mhm.
almost all these categories you got
Yeah.
Nafisa in there, man. I think
Mm-hmm.
yeah, man. So that
Mm-hmm. Like,
yeah,
to
so
me, she's right now the head of shoulders above everything. But I'm gonna tell you, the girl Gray, the guard Gray
mhm.
for Atlanta,
Right.
she doing her thing this year too.
Yeah, Atlanta is a surprise team this year because
Yeah.
nobody saw Atlanta coming. At least I
Yeah.
didn't see, you know what I mean? I
Mm-hmm.
didn't see them coming.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so let me
Yeah, I haven't watched any of their games yet.
yeah, I had a chance to see part of one of their games, but Atlanta to me is a surprise team, and then you got the Valkyries. I think they're a surprise team. Let me see what Trader Grimm said. The CC playing terrible has nothing to do with the scheme from coaching. Stop giving her that LeBron treatment. Yeah. So Trey, let me ask you this though, Trey. Why do you like her playing? Like, why do you think her play did fall off? And I said yesterday, I thought part of it was like the pressure. And some people said the injury. I think it's a mixture of some things, though. Chemistry. You got chemistry. You got the pressure. And she injured.
Mm-hmm. But it's interesting. We talking about her game fall off, and she's still averaging damn near 9 assists a game. She's averaging 18, almost 19 points a game. She averaging 5 rebounds a game.
Yeah.
She always turned the ball over. I don't see, and she's playing hurt. So
yeah.
I don't,
And she's not playing in a scheme that highlights her.
It does not. Yeah.
Well, and see, that's true. That's a big part of it too. When you have you got her playing, in a scheme that's not really conducive for her skill set. Yeah.
If there's any fall off, and I'm gonna say this, it's because she's not right now. She's not playing with joy.
Mm-hmm.
A major element of her game is playing with joy. She loves playing basketball, and because her body is failing her, she's in pain, she's injured, she's playing through injury. You don't have the same energy, you don't have the same joy. And then when you couple that with some other things, the system and stuff like that, you can see that mentally is getting to her because she's not playing with joy.
Yeah. And let me say this because somebody brought this up in the chat too that I thought was very important. Like when you watch Caitlin Clark on the sideline and her demeanor and her leadership and stuff, even on the sideline, I think is like she happy for the success that her teammates are having. So I think that she doing everything she can do in her power to prove that she's worthy of some the praise and the accolades that she get. But I just think there's some forces working against her. I think some of the forces even coming from inside the yeah. Let me see. Eastside Legend says Clark has made a lot of comments in the past. She has other interests besides basketball isn't her whole life. That's fair. That's why I made that comment. I think she's going to get burned out. Yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot.
She has said that often. She be like, basketball ain't everything. It's more to life than basketball. She does make a lot of comments like that.
Yeah.
And she even told Sue Bird and Diana Taurasi, because Diana Taurasi was saying, play as long as you can, because now that I'm retired, I'm more business. She was like, play as long as you can. Caitlin said, nah, we'll see if I get to 10 years. She even made that statement herself. That's why I thought what he said was very interesting as well.
I had no idea that she even felt that way. All I know is she a gym rat. You know what I mean? And so when you see people like that who is gym rats, you kind of want them to play forever. Just like people was disappointed when Barry Sanders Sanders left. You know what I mean? And people was mad when Barry Sanders left. But yeah, man, I think that Trey, no doubt you entitled to your own opinion. And we definitely not trying to knock you. As a matter of fact, we definitely encourage people, you know what I mean? Because like when people express their own opinions, that just give us something more to think about, So yeah, definitely. Like Jim said, we definitely gonna keep it civil, but in defense of my man, Kent Carlson, Kent Carlson is a passionate Fever fan. You know what I mean? So we know that's where that came from. But yeah, man, you welcome in the chat, and we appreciate all comments. Yeah. So do y'all want to real quick, do y'all want to get a little bit into this collusion, man, that we spoke about, this NFL collusion?
Man, it was deeper than we just touched on the surface yesterday. And when I started digging in, it's just like, oof, there's shadiness, there's bad guys, there's selfishness, there's selling out your NFL brothers. It's nuts.
What all happened though? Like, what is like? What's the guy named Pablo Torres? Is that his name?
Yeah. Yep.
Like, so what is he exposing as far as this NFL collusion is concerned?
So the NFLPA was forced the NFL to go to arbitration about it was about this whole well they forced arbitration on several things, right?
Mm-hmm.
The 17 games is a season thing. They didn't want that. And but they blinked first, right? They caved, right? And so the power dynamics have really in the last 10 plus years have always kind of favored the NFL. And so there was they went back and wanted to take the NFL back to the arbitration because they felt like there was some collusion going on, and the arbitrator, well, when you do that, you get all this kind of discovery, right? And so the NFLPA did get all this information that showed the NFL was doing really shady, collusive stuff, including having this. They have this thing called the management committee that is this shady backdoor kind of group, and they pull in all the owners, and they kind of give them advice as to, hey, this is how we should be running things, and this is, this is what we think you should be doing. But because they were kind of couching it from the perspective of, well, this is our recommendations, we're not telling you got to do that. The arbitrator said, well, there's no proof that there's collusion, but it smelled like collusion all over. Well, when the report came out, and that's what Pablo Torres was able to do, he was finally able to get a hold of this report because nobody else was able to. It got buried. And remember that. It got buried. Remember who's in the room, the NFL and the NFLPA. So this doesn't find the light of day until Pablo somehow digs it out. Everyone's looking for it, right? He finds all this information in this report that shows not only are the owners talking to, so they had this information that the management committee comes out and says, yeah, don't, you should stay away from these guaranteed contracts. That would be our opinion, but do what you got to do. And so there's, even after this, there's congressional committee meetings, right? So these owners are going into the congressional committee saying, if I call up Jerry Jones and tell him don't give this guy a guaranteed contract, he'll laugh in my face and give me a few choice words. Well, what was happening? Bidwell, or who's the owner of the Cardinals?
Owner. Yeah. It might still be Bidwell. I'm not sure.
Yeah. He calls up the Chargers owner, and because he's trying to do this contract with Kyler Murray, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so they start talking back and forth about, we can't be doing this. We can't be doing this guaranteed contract stuff. Let's work on shifting this language so it sounds like guaranteed money, but it's not guaranteed money. It's all incentive based. And the owner, and sure enough, that's the new model, because the way they presented it to Kyle Murray thinks he's got this guaranteed money, but he doesn't.
Okay.
And so they got this contract, and that's the template that they use to get Herbert's a contract done. Right? And so now, they're sharing their inside secrets, and they're all kind of on the same page, and it's all this shady behind the door stuff, and everybody that was involved kind of just has this outward facing, this is, no, we're not colluding, but all the proof and the documentation says, yeah, they're colluding.
Yeah.
Well, that's just the tip of the iceberg that we talked about.
Yeah.
Right.
And this to me actually confirms why they settled with Cat. Because whenever you file and you got to go to court, so much shit comes out in discovery.
Yes.
That now you expose yourself. And see, that's the biggest thing about this story right now is it's evidence. It's legal evidence that they've been colluding, and yet both sides suppressed it. That's the biggest takeaway from this. It's like you got the goods, and that's why nobody, he couldn't get this document stuff. But the 16-page report just from this in discovery, text messages came out, conversations. Even Lamar, he texted Eric DaCosta saying, I'm going to keep pursuing a fully guaranteed contract, even though I know you guys won't. They talked about Kyler Murray contract. They congratulated Arizona's owner. Way to keep the guarantees low.
Yes.
You did a great job. It's all this language in it that's very suggestive, but this is why Colin Kaepernick got paid off and he never went to court.
And the twist is, here's the twist. The guy that was running the executive director of the NFLPA, who was the center
for Cleveland.
For Cleveland, right?
Yeah.
Or no, he was he wasn't the executive, whatever role he was, right? He was like the president of the players union. That's what he was, the president of the players union, something like that, because he was an active player. Right. He wasn't the executive director because that's usually an ex-player.
Right.
But he's the president, right?
Yeah.
Well, he ends up and he ends up being he got cut.
Right. He was up for a return.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so he could no longer be the president.
Right.
But while he's still the president, he kind of rigs the rules, and he's telling all the players, hey, I got, trust the process. In the meantime, he kind of changes the rules up of the union so that the union and they need a new executive director as well, right? The guy that's over everything.
Yeah.
And so because they don't have one and he's the president, he kind of jerry rigs the rules to change it to say the NFL players don't need 30 days notice of when they choose the next executive director, who are the candidates, right? And he changes the rules so that they don't need to be notified until the board meeting when they're choosing them. And so now they have this totally opaque process that's not transparent at all.
Nope.
And they go through the committee goes through their own process of vetting and finding the next executive director. And it ends up not being this player or someone
an ex-player or anything. They brought him in from the corporate world. Yeah.
They bring him
and they
in
didn't even vet him. There was no vetting involved in anything.
Well, not by the players.
Very minimal. Right.
Yeah. So whatever deals or promises that were made, who knows? Because this guy comes in from Booz Allen, and you talked about it, the whistleblower yesterday, Clayton. You had all the info on how he was involved as the CFO of Booz Allen and some really shady stuff that got whistleblower and Booz Allen making like hundreds of millions off of government contracts, under the table shady stuff. And so he jumped ship there, and he comes to the NFLPA, and J.C. Treader, he gets him in the door by rigging the rules. Now this guy's in there, and he's the guy who's in charge now, right? He's this era's Gene Upshaw, and all of a sudden everything's behind the doors, no transparency. He's suppressing the all this evidence that shows the collusion. So if you connect the dots, and if you have any idea that you believe in conspiracy theories, there's a lot of and what happens, and it comes back to this J.C. Tretter, who was the president representing all of his NFL brothers.
Yeah.
He's out because he can no longer be the president because he's no longer in the league.
Yeah.
Well, what is this Lloyd Howell, who he brought in?
What is he giving What is he giving Tretter?
He gives him the chief strategy officer, a brand new position that the NFLPA has never had. Now all of a sudden, this guy comes in and he's making 6-figure salaries again as the chief strategy officer. Now it's like, man, it is so shady what's going on between the now. Not only are the NFL owners colluding with each other, they're now colluding with the top tier executives of the NFLPA. And you're not seeing any of this information out there on ESPN, Fox Sports, CBS Sports. They are mum.
Yep.
And it's just like Clayton said yesterday. It's because they get fed from the beast. So they're not going to bite the hands that feed them.
No, not at all.
So let me ask, do y'all think that like this is not unique to just the NFL? Like this could, like the NBA, Major League Baseball, like all major sports, this could be like, you know what I mean? This could be something that goes on in all major sports.
Well, the difference is though with the NBA and the NFL, Major League Baseball, these guys' contracts are guaranteed. They getting money, so even though the union's probably working closely with the owners, the unions is not just cutting the players' legs out. You know what I'm saying? Where the NFL, their union is totally just
corrupt.
Yeah, it's corrupt. It's totally corrupt.
And the NFL has always had the weakest union of all the major sports, always.
And it's the most profitable sport.
Yes.
Right, yeah.
You talk about greed on the highest. All you got to do is give kickbacks, kick people out, give them something cushy. Oh my God, man! People sell themselves out. They'll sell you out quick. Yeah. So it's probably going on, but I don't think to this degree, Mike.
Yeah. Let me let me see what my man Kent Carlson said. He thinks right now, if Caitlin Clark wanted to start her own expansion team, she could, even at age 23. She got the it factor.
Yeah, but she doesn't have the $1 billion factor though. She needs to round up those investors, like Clayton said. Get that that Amazon money going.
Yeah, somebody.
She probably wouldn't have any issue getting investors though. Just like Breonna Stewart, Nafisa Collier got investors for their unrivaled league, right? So she wouldn't have to put up all her own money. She could, she could get investors and start a league. But at the age of 23, I think. What do y'all think about this? I think because somebody said yesterday that they think that the more so with coming into the NBA and the WNBA now is more so like a popularity contest, right? And so they said that there's some players that were that didn't get drafted because they didn't have that base that some of these young ladies are coming in now with, like Paige. I don't know if Paige had a real big base, but say like Juju is a big base. Paige is a solid, pretty big base. Caitlin Clark, we know that she had a big base, right? So now they're saying that coming into the WNBA now, that's going to affect, like not just your draft stock, but whether you stick in the league or not. If you have a base like that, because sponsors and the league, they don't want to turn down those, those girls who have big bases.
Well, I'm gonna say this. I don't think anybody's getting a big base in college that's not a great player.
Yeah.
That's true. Well, it depends because she also brought up like your ability to market. Yeah, you got now you may have a player that falls through the cracks, somebody who knows how to market. You know what I mean? Who's very good at marketing, social media and stuff like that. So they could get, because we see some kids who had those
Mm-hmm.
high school mixtapes, and then
Mm-hmm.
when they get to college, they get exposed, or they may go in the first round in an NBA draft and get exposed. So
I just think the WNBA has enough talented players with big bases that they
uh-huh.
don't have to go bottom fishing just for somebody that's popular.
Yeah,
Because your Juju's coming into the league,
yeah.
because Caitlin came and Paige came, and these are great players.
Mhm.
I don't have to just grab somebody up
Yeah,
because they popular. Now, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
That's just my theory on it. And you got these other young ones coming through. The girl Shabazz we talked about. We looked at the high school All America game. Them girls and that they
Yeah.
doing a social media thing
Yeah.
and stuff. So I don't know. You might get one or two that might slip as a role player, maybe. I don't know, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I don't
yeah.
think it's going to be a thing where the league is flooded with non-talented girls just because they popular. I don't think it's going to get to that.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, let me
Yep.
see what J Man Brown says. Let me see what J Man Brown says that White wants CC to be injured. So let me see. So White can run that motion ball offense. Yeah, and let me see, and try to prove that she's like that what she does wins, not CC. There's more to going to the SW and holding CC back. Yeah, now that's a good point. Like, all
Yeah,
right,
I
so
agree
what
with that.
basically
Mhm.
that's a great point.
Mhm.
Yeah, that J Me Bowman makes that White, you gotta deal with like you got egos from both sides, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like you
Yeah.
got coaches that want to prove that they can coach, and that their system is what's going to work. So then you have to have like a give and take between the player and that coach. They got to develop that trust and that. So yeah, that's a tough situation.
And that's why I'm hoping that they just shut Caitlin down.
Mm.
I'm hoping for that.
Well, all right. So now some people don't want to see that because every time Caitlin don't play, you see those ticket prices.
I'm
You
just
see those
saying what
ticket
I'm
prices.
just saying to fix all that's going on between White and her ego and trying to force a system on the players to fix all that. To me, shut Caitlin down, let
Mm.
it play out because you got some wins, but the last time you won against a good team, Caitlin was on the floor running
Yes.
your offense.
Hmm.
You lost to the Sparks. You beat Dallas. Dallas don't have no bigs. They don't play defense.
Right.
So, everybody got their game off. But now you're getting ready to play Minnesota, for the cup. Now you're getting ready to play, let's see.
Yeah. Yeah.
After Minnesota, I think you got the Aces again. They coming in your building. Let's
Right.
see.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You're right. So if you can coach now.
Let's
Yeah.
see.
Yeah.
That's
But
right.
but like I said, my thing is those ticket prices, man. Like, so if if you what I mean, if you running a fever, if you be like, man, I want that. If you getting used to selling out arenas, you getting used to making all that money off of merch, for those games and stuff like that. That's something that they may not want to play with.
But you do not want to damage her future.
Yes.
Hmm.
Just for
Yeah,
just
that's true.
temporary cash windfall. You do not want, how much money you could be making over the long haul? You do
Yeah.
not want her to crash and burn. One
Yeah.
thing I wish, though, the only thing that might be helping Stephanie White is this girl, Ari McDonald, because she's so fast and
Yeah.
quick.
Yeah.
And teams play them different where on the floor.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. My man Kent Carlson said, remember Caitlin's degree in marketing, and well, we see what can happen, you know,
Mhm.
when captains of industry and other major players get
Yeah.
involved, investors will come. That's true about like the fan base that Caitlin Clark have, and you know the kind of attention that she demands. I didn't know though. I appreciate that. I didn't know she had a degree in marketing.
Yeah, that's her degree. Yep.
Yeah. So.
Yep. And Mark. And here again, nobody's saying she can't. It's no question that she can't.
Yeah.
She'll get investors involved. My thing is, I don't believe she wants to. I think she loves the WNBA that much.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I mean, how many stories have they done on Caitlin as a 6-year-old? You know, talking about that being her ultimate goal.
Yeah.
And Maya Moore was her was her favorite player.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. Yeah. I had no idea she was a
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's appreciate that, Kent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true too.
What?
That she invested in a soccer team.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they got this project going on. She putting basketball courts in all these different cities, man, through her foundation and stuff. So yeah, she's very much, and you know, she on the off season, she do speaking engagements because
right.
She definitely can make, and they saying the price she get for those speaking engagements, $100,000 and stuff like that. So the girl's set. She's set.
Yeah. Dude, that like, all right, so does that, and that's part of the reason why she gets some jealousy and stuff around the league too, though. You know what I mean? That can contribute. You know, but you don't watching.
Yeah, you don't dull your shine. You don't not do something you love because people going not like it. That's what it is.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't tell her, you know. But man. Yeah.
And these people are in denial when they keep saying they don't have no resentment or jealousy. They lying to themselves. The minute you can be true to yourself, that's when you get beyond that place you stuck at. So, you know.
Yeah. Spoken like a man who's been there.
Been there, Jim. Been there, baby.
So
I used to get mad at Mike shooting J's in my face. I was jealous then. His slow ass. He was slow but effective, Jim. Pull that J up, back up.
Ain't nobody never called me fast. But
that J was serious, man. He could play though. Yeah.
Appreciate that. East Side Legend says that, do you think Caitlin Clark's shooting slump is because she's injured, or teams adjusting, or mental?
All the above.
Yeah. I think that, I still think that I think it's mental. I think like you get to a certain point, you get tired. You know what I mean? You the media is all in your face. Then you know what I mean. You everybody every night is giving you their A game. That's something you got to get used to. You know what I mean? Even though you're a great ball player, you still got to work your way up to. You're not sneaking up on nobody. And we talked about like how Paige, you know what I mean? Like Paige quietly, in my opinion, is having a really good season, right? But she has more. She didn't come in, although she came from UConn. She didn't come in with the same type of hype and fanfare as Caitlin did. And people didn't want to challenge Paige as much as they wanted to challenge Caitlin. So that mental, that taxation that you get mentally is not there. As a matter of fact, I thought when Caitlin, her rookie year, I thought before that season was over, I thought Caitlin was going to, hit that rookie wall. And I was surprised that she didn't.
Yeah.
After the All-Star break, she actually got better. You know what I mean? I thought she was going to hit a wall then. So, but yeah, I think it's from all the above, Eastside.
Yeah, I think it started with the injury, and then the injury is spilling over into the mental.
Yeah.
And as far as teams adjusting, they play it like the same way all the time. You can't tell me that she go out and first game triple double. In the New York, she go 32 and all that, and they playing it the same way. I think she's used to that, being picked up 94 feet, and she has ways to deal with that. But I think the injuries created a deflation in her energy. Mentally, it's messing with her, and I do think it's a combination of both. The way the teams are adjusting, because she's getting old, she's still getting. the minute she's not getting any open looks, then I'll say the team's adjustment is taking her looks away. She's missing shots.
Yeah. And so let me see. I think Tom makes a great point right here too. Like every great shooter has a slump.
Yep.
Asking Ray Allen, Larry Bird,
yep.
Klay Thompson,
Yep.
the best of the best,
Yep.
the best of the best house shooting slumps. Yeah,
Yep.
that's true. Everybody has shooting slumps.
Yep.
And that's why as a great player, you have to have more than one way to be effective. You know what I mean? And which she do. I think, like she can get to the basket when she needs to. And when you do hit a shooting slump, or if your jumper's off, they always tell you work from the inside out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Go in closer, work your way back out there, and then that's how you redevelop your but it's
Against the Aces, she couldn't throw none in, but she got 19 points because she kept going to the basket.
Yep.
And then everybody talking about her shooting woes, but here again, we talked about this earlier.
Yeah.
All the guards out there are going through that right now. Sabrina over her last three, Kelsey over her last three, at least from behind the arc. All of them are going through it right now. So, but they highlighting Caitlin, you know what I'm saying? Which is understandable because she's the main attraction and everything is about her. But he makes a great point. Everybody goes through shooting slumps.
Yeah, Tom make a good point. I appreciate your time. Let me see. JS NK the fourth says that she's load managing now physically and mentally, right? And so
well, I sent you guys that picture.
Yeah.
With her leg wrapped up. Yep. I believe she really is hurt. Yeah.
So let me see what my man Kent Carlson said. What we love about CC is we know what she does on the court. What she sets above the rest is what she does off the court. No one else I see, no one else I see does it. Yeah, and that's true. I think unselfish on the court and unselfish off the court, as far as like what you just mentioned, Clayton, like her giving back to the community. And I don't need to really, but you don't really see that with other, you see everybody doing their thing and making their money, right? But as far as like giving back to the community, I think that's you know what I mean? That just shows that unselfish.
Well, and for the W though, the economics are such that not all of the professionals, we can't treat the W professionals the same way as we can NFL and NBA. It's just because they don't have as many resources. And I think a lot of them absolutely would if they had more resources based off of, their compensation and their it's a difficult situation.
Casino Tab says, but why do the ladies have to be so jealous? So the rookies of the year are jealous of Caitlin Clark too. Juju and her class that's coming, are they supposed to be jealous too?
Let me answer that.
Go ahead.
Every woman's not. We're not saying that all the women in the W are jealous. Juju is not jealous. Some of these girls aren't jealous. Paige aren't jealous because they have so much going on for themselves as well. But you can see a resentment from the old guard with these young ones coming in. You can see the attention she gets when she plays. She's such a target. And then whenever anybody brings up her name to some of the vets, they don't want to talk about her. I want to talk, and it's always some kind of dig or slight, And we was doing this before she got here. And comments like this, to me, it shows that and it's only human. Let me be fair. It's only human to feel this way to some degree. That's part of being human. It's not to knock it. It's just observing what it is. But by no means is it every single woman in the W jealous. That's not the case. Fee ain't jealous of her. Brianna Stewart ain't jealous. So many great players ain't jealous. But you do see some of it. That's all.
And I think some of the harsh talk that was like DT last year, you know, she was very critical, saying, "Hey, this isn't going to be easy." And I
Yep.
think that may have been interpreted as hate on Caitlin, but I think Diana Taurasi is going to treat everybody that way coming in.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
well.
I think she went at Candace. You don't think so?
No, I'm saying when she talked about Paige at the beginning of the year, she didn't make that statement.
They UConn girls, though.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Right. Yeah.
She said Paige gonna wind up being the best player in the league. She didn't say it's levels. She didn't say any of that.
Right. You're right. But
that's that UConn
but we talked about that yesterday, right? That UConn bias, right? But my point is, I can see how some of that can be interpreted as as jealousy and hate because of and so I think there's a multitude of responses that the other players have. Some of it is jealousy, some of it is, hey, I want the attention but I'm not getting it, and some of it is, hey, if you're going to be a professional in this league, we're going to make it hard on you and you're going to have to show that you have the chops to make it.
Yeah.
Well said.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, that's that UConn. That's her little sister, though. That's her little sister.
That's right.
Yeah. And then Gino gonna make a call. You know what I mean? Gino gonna make a call. So it won't.
The Godfather. The Godfather.
But I think time makes a great point right here that I want us to discuss too, right? So let me tell you something about being mentally tough. One thing Caitlin has that most of these girls don't have is a father that makes sure she doesn't get out of control. Her mental game is phenomenal. And so I said about all great athletes, when you talk about Peyton Manning, you talk about Michael Jordan, you talk about most great athletes, Venus and Serena. Most of those great athletes come from two-parent households. And not to knock people who not fortunate like that, but it's a different mentality. Even when you look at like black quarterbacks who won Super Bowls, all those black quarterbacks have their they have their fathers in their life, right? So time brings up an excellent point. It's just a different mentality. It's a different kind of you understand hierarchy. You understand respect for authority.
And you understand confidence.
Absolutely. You understand confidence. It's just so much that comes with coming, you know what I mean, to having that background. So I always point to that when I, especially when you talk about great athletes. So,
and you know who else has both parents?
Who was that?
Nafisha Collier. Brianna Stewart had both parents. Asia Wilson had both parents. And I'm a little surprised with Asia with the victim thing because she comes from that structure. But that's neither here nor there. Sabrina got both. It's a lot of them that, that stars in this W. If you look at their background, they got both their parents in their life.
Yeah. And so, I just think that that's just so important, man.
When I said that. Yeah.
Development. When it comes to development of these type of Tyrese Halliburton, his father, although he he kind of go overboard a little bit, but he did
too much confidence.
He became a star. He became a star riding for his son. He went at Giannis.
I mean, So we all need parents like that'll fight a giant for you.
How about that?
But to what you said, Clayton, let me see. Mr. Soul Auctioneer says that Asia comes from more privilege than anyone, in the league. I know that she comes from her, she has a really good upbringing, no doubt. And I don't know. Let me go ahead, Clayton.
No, you go ahead.
No, I was just going. Tom said that I never heard Sabrina say anything bad about Caitlyn. To me, I think she was the only one that really embraced Caitlyn besides her teammates. I can't recall Sabrina saying, but see, Sabrina was again, she confident in her own abilities.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sabrina can shoot lights out. So, and she was proven in the league before Caitlyn got there. She participated in the All-Star, you know what I mean, All-Star shootout with Steph Curry, and almost won that. Then she participated in that 2 years with
just
with
1 year, just 1 year.
Okay,
they just did it 1 year. But also, there's some others that never said anything bad about Caitlyn. The girl, Satu Sably, when she was in Dallas last year, she was complimentary. Fee was always complimentary. It's some others that's always, Enrique was very complimentary. It's a lot of players, it's not, that's what I said, it's not the whole league. It's just,
Yeah. And I think Sabrina would, but when Sabrina was at Oregon, right, and so Drone Life, Drone Life copied this. I can't get the whole name out. Drone Life said that she isn't UConn, which is true. She was at Oregon, but remember, Kobe really kind of took her under his wing. You know what I mean? Kobe really, he really dig Sabrina's game, so she came in too with some, with some fanfare and stuff too. So she was confident in what she could do from day one. Yeah. So, and that's what it is. You want to compete against people, and you don't really have to hate on them. I think some of it was like competition, like they want to see. You know what I mean? Like if she is really that, you know what I mean? So, and that was some of it. Let me see. Yeah, Caitlyn's teammates from last season were slow to having her back.
It kind of feels like they still do. Are a little slow.
I just don't.
I mean,
Let me see.
See, but then you got to look at the makeup on that team, man. They're not fighters. They're not pro. It's sometimes you trying to ask a person to be something they're not. That's not fair either.
No, and I would never put Aaliyah Boston in that position.
Right? Yeah, that just don't seem like
that's not her. She's big. She's great on the court, but she's a teddy bear.
She's a teddy bear.
And don't make her something she's not.
Right. Yeah, she definitely not an enforcer, but she's not an enforcer, but she play hard and she play aggressive though.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But she's not gonna put them gloves on.
Yeah, but Sophie will. Sophie shows she will.
So, well, Sophie her black belt, ain't she?
Yeah, and Sophie said, "Don't nobody like us. We circled on everybody's schedule, but that's why we gotta come together and be together as a team." So it's all good. Yeah.
Let me see. Let me see. OG, the people we are mentioning are really great women. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I think it just like pedigree just plays so much into, into that, man. And so, and I think that even when coaches like Gino Auriemma, when they recruit, like great coaches like that, they take stuff like that into account. You know what I mean? Like, not all the time, but in most cases, if you come from a two-parent household, like that determines like how coachable you're going to be, how receptive you are to like to your elders, how respectable you are to your elders and stuff like that. So it plays a lot into it.
And I think Gino too recruits based on the system he runs too. What's going to fit. That's why I think he ain't had no interest in Caitlyn, because Caitlyn don't fit that system in UConn.
I agree. That's a great point too. Yeah. Let me see. Let me see what my man Soul said. He said, try to explain to people that Caitlin Clark was a standout let me see, and all these ladies that went to UConn and South Carolina were merely role players. Yeah, I think that well, all right, this the thing I would say about that, right? All right, so who's to say that if Caitlin Clark went to UConn, she may not have just fallen into that role player type? You know what I mean? You know, her development might have been different had she went to UConn because of the system that, you know what I mean? Because like you say, he is a system coach. So, you know, he did her actually a favor by not even, you know, bringing her.
Yeah.
And the same thing with when you talk about Elena Deladon, right?
Mm-hmm.
She went to UConn and she just didn't feel like she fit in there.
Yep.
So when she went to Delaware, you know, the level of, like, she had that green light at Delaware, but the things that she could do at Delaware, you know, I don't think she would have been able to do that. It would not have fit inside their system.
Yeah.
Like when you think about, all right, take for instance Michael Jordan at North Carolina. Michael Jordan was a great basketball player playing for Dean Smith, but they also said that Dean Smith was the only one who could stop Michael Jordan, who could hold him down, because even though you Michael Jordan, you still need to play within Dean Smith's his system, you know. And so to stand now, if she stand out within that system, that just even go to prove more how special that player is. So I don't know, you know, I mean, I'm just, you know, I don't know. But yeah,
You know what Dean Smith did though? Dean Smith advised Michael to go to the NBA.
Like, get out of here. You did it. You did. You know what I
He
mean?
advised him. He advised him.
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
That's
so,
a great coach. That's a great coach.
Oh yeah, Dean Smith.
Recognize
Dean
things.
Smith.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
That's just like going to Harvard or Yale. Some, you know what I mean? Like basketball. That's like basketball Yale or basketball Harvard. You know what I mean? You playing for Dean Smith and studying under Dean Smith.
Dean Smith's on the Mount Rushmore.
Oh, no doubt.
NCAA coaches. Yeah.
I think, you know, I don't know nothing about John Wooden, but I think Dean Smith, in my opinion, Dean Smith is I put him ahead of Mike Krzyzewski. In my opinion, I like North Carolina. Yeah, I like North Carolina program way more.
I can't put him over Mike Krzyzewski.
What?
Love Dean Smith. I can't put him over Mike Krzyzewski.
You can't put Dean Smith over Mike Krzyzewski?
I cannot.
No.
I cannot.
Dean Smith, and when Dean Smith Dean Smith used to cook Mike Krzyzewski, when, you know what I mean? Man.
I mean, in the beginning, I mean, it might have been the case, but what Mike Krzyzewski, what was in him got developed, to me, he's the greatest college basketball coach of all time, in my opinion. I ain't see John Wooden.
Yeah, I didn't see John Wooden either. That's why, you know what I mean? And John Wooden, he coached some legends, you know what I mean? Kareem.
It's gonna say.
Yeah, but it's Dean, man. It's Dean, in my opinion.
I put him over Bobby, and I put him over all them guys, man.
Yeah.
And look what he did with the Olympic teams and all that stuff. Come on, man.
Yeah, man. But look at these guys when they got to the league. Them North Carolina guys when they got to the league.
What North Carolina guys?
Michael Jordan, James Worthy,
and that's it.
Sam Perkins had a nice career. You got Vince Carter. Everybody not gonna be Michael Jordan.
I ain't saying that. You ain't got to be Michael Jordan.
All right, well, let's not even mention Michael Jordan. James Worthy had a nice career. Vince Carter had a nice career. I think Sam Perkins. Let me see who else came out of North Carolina. What with the Doherty guy? Where Doherty? Where Brady? He went to Cleveland, right?
Yeah, he was okay.
He was all right. He was good.
It was okay.
Besides Grant Hill, Kyrie Irving.
Grant Hill, Kyrie Irving, Elton Brand.
They don't stack up to those guys, not to me.
What?
I think that North Carolina, I'm
trying to think who else came out of Duke. You get ready to see it. Well, he ain't coach under Krzyzewski, but you get ready to see another one with this boy that just came.
Yeah, I don't count Cooper.
I know Krzyzewski, but it's the spillover, man. It's still Krzyzewski's system. Yeah. But let's think about these players, huh?
Mike, you forgot Kenny Smith.
Kenny Smith. Oh, yeah.
From North Carolina. Yeah, North Carolina.
Yeah.
What about Johnny Dawkins?
That was my guy, Johnny Dawkins, Tommy Amica. That was my
Tommy
guy.
Amica, yeah.
My guys. I like that their program, but I just thought they was number 2 behind that Carolina program.
But can you give the coach that credit or the talent? Because to me, they talented.
Johnny Dawkins was a beast, though, Clayton.
I know he was. I'm saying, but I'm just saying to you, well, all that North Carolina talent, how many championships did he get?
I don't know. I forget.
and if you say Duke had less talent,
Mike Krzyzewski won more chips than Dean Smith.
Yes.
Right. And if he had lesser talent, that means he's a better coach.
I ain't gonna go that far. I ain't gonna go that far. I'm telling you, that's like going to Harvard. This dude is teaching you how to play ball at an elite level. And same thing for Krzyzewski. But
listen, I couldn't stand Duke either. I'm not a Duke fan. I just gotta give credit where credit due, man.
Yeah. I ain't a Duke fan either, but I ain't going. I got to be honest about Mike Krzyzewski. He can coach. You know what I mean? I can't say he couldn't coach. Let me see what Casino Taz says. The WNBA is adding 2 new teams next year, which is going to make it hard for everybody to win a WNBA championship. I know they was going to add 2 new teams next year.
Yeah, next year. Yep.
Okay, that's good. Yeah.
It's already hard to win the WNBA championship. Looking at this year, anybody can beat anybody now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Almost, except Connecticut and Dallas and the Sparks probably. Yeah.
So let me see. Connecticut women team, second team, could probably hang with the starting 5, with Caitlin Clark starting 5 at Iowa University, better than the players in Iowa. Their second team could beat the Iowa start team.
He was saying if she had that kind of talent, Connecticut's second team with her in college, she probably could have won it. But
okay, my fault.
To be honest with you, if South Carolina just didn't have that buzzsaw her senior year, they was just so deep. Nobody was beating them.
Yeah.
Iowa could have won it. They could have won it all. And look how they played them that game.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, my man. Let me see. Gino was jealous and vindictive. Let me see that he didn't get that raw natural talent that CC has. Let me see. She would have chosen to go there anyway. She wouldn't have chosen to go there anyway. I think she wanted to go to. Yeah, didn't she want to go to UConn?
No, she wanted to be recruited by him, but her first choice was Notre Dame.
Oh, it was?
She told Lisa Bluter. She was like Notre Dame, but then something inside her just said Iowa. But she was getting ready to go to Notre Dame.
Yeah. I think Notre Dame would have been a good fit for her too. You know what I mean? Either one Iowa, but I don't know. That's hypothetical.
She wanted Gino to recruit her, but she didn't want really going to go there. Yeah. Notre Dame was always her. That was her school, Notre Dame.
Yeah. Let me see. Let me see. I still think Grant Hill is the best Duke basketball player to ever come out of there, and would have been one of the best NBA players if he did not get hurt. And that's 100. I agree with that. I just dig Grant Hill game. He used to give Mike and Scotty, he used to get them a hard way to go. Like when he was healthy, Grant Hill did. I think he was their best player to come out of Duke. Let me see. Let me see. Do y'all agree? Y'all think he was the best player to come out of Duke?
I mean, he was great, yeah. But let's have that conversation when Kyrie finishes up.
Yeah.
Woo! Kyrie.
Yeah.
That's my guy.
Yeah. Me too.
Love Kyrie. But unfortunately, I think it's going to be Cooper Flag.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I like Cooper Flag. Let me see. Hansborough Barnes went to the same high school as Fred Hoiberg.
Hansborough going way back.
Yeah, I don't know either one of those players.
Tyler Hansborough, Harrison
Oh
Barnes.
yeah, I know him.
Yeah, went to the same house. Yeah, I ain't say their first names. That's why.
Okay.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Fred Hoiberg is an Iowa legend.
Yeah, Fred Hoiberg. Yeah.
Let me ask Mr. Soul. What's his name?
Soul
Soul
Auctioneer.
Auctioneer. Is he from Iowa?
Gotta be.
I'm serious.
Yeah. Let me see. UConn has never beat. Yeah. Let me see what somebody said something about Harrison Barnes. Let me see what they say.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Harrison Barnes at AMES.
Ames. Yeah.
At
Ames, Iowa. That's where Iowa State's at.
Oh, Ames, Iowa.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let me see.
I mean, yeah.
All right, Ames, Iowa. Okay, so at one point was also #1 high school player in the nation, Harrison Barnes. Harrison Barnes was a beast too.
Was he?
Yeah, in college, you ain't like Harrison Barnes? Man, shoot.
It's not. I can't even remember his game.
You don't remember Harrison Barnes in college?
I can't remember his game. Nope.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who else Harrison Barnes was made there when Harrison Barnes played. Because I mean, they had a good they had a stacked team when Harrison Barnes was there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they had a good team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so somebody. Yeah. Oh man, yeah, no doubt, Tom. Yeah, rest in peace.
Yeah.
Len Bias was
The
coming
legend.
to give Michael Jordan some problems, and yeah, I stand on no doubt, shoot, man.
Len Bias is sacred here in the DMV, baby.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Yeah,
That's
Len
right.
Bias, man.
Lenny Bias was, man. I used to run to the store, get my butterscotch cookies, chocolate milk, turn on Maryland, and watch the show. Lenny was that dude. I've never seen a jump shot period in his ever.
He had a legitimate jump shot. He used to elevate when he shot his jump shot, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so Len Bias was what Jordan wanted to be.
No. I disagree with you there, Soul Auctioneer. No. Lenny was great. I love him. Lenny jumped straight up. Mike walked on air.
Yeah.
It was a difference. Two-time, what was he? Two-time All-American, Naismith winner. Yeah, come on, national champion as a freshman. Now, Mike can handle the ball better than Lenny. I love Lenny though. Lenny was a beast.
Yeah.
But no, I gotta push back on that one.
Yeah, Mike handle in college though, and Len Bias handle in college was suspect. Both of those, their handles in college was suspect.
Mike could dribble better than Lenny.
Yeah, he could. Yeah, a little bit better. Mike had at least had the right hand. Lenny, if he had to go more than two to the right, it was But when you got that vertical that Lenny had, man.
Yeah, Lenny had that vertical, and I might even say Lenny might have been stronger than Mike. I seen Lenny go up with a guy on his wrist, catch an alley oop and dunk with a guy on his wrist. But Mike, that cat walked on air, man. I'm serious.
It's been a few decades. How did Lenny pass before the draft or after the draft?
After he got drafted, he died that night.
That's
okay.
Celebrate.
Okay. Yeah.
Celebrate.
Can you imagine what the Celtics would have been?
That's the thing.
Yeah. Reginald Lewis.
Man. Yeah. They would have been. That would have been. I don't know who would have beat that team.
They would have been tough.
I don't know who would have beat that team.
Me and Clayton used to sit in the back of class and just argue all day about Michael Jordan and Len Bias, who was the best, man.
Yeah. Len Bias, man. And the range on his jump shot.
Yeah.
That 3-point line wouldn't have been nothing to Lenny. Nothing.
Yeah.
Man.
When I found out though, let me see, 17, Loose Bolt says, I remember that it was sad.
It was sad.
When I found out Len Bias had passed, I didn't even believe it. It came on the news. I thought I was dreaming or something. When I found out that Len Bias had passed, I was like, what?
It was early in the morning, 6-something in the morning. My sister used to go to DC to work. She worked for the FBI. She called me up that morning and said, Clayton, Lenny Bias died. Man, you talking about a somber day. The whole hood was sad. Yeah. We all gathered on the corner of Old York and Willow. And it was just sadness, like almost like he was one of our homeboys or something. Sadness, man. It was sad. I'll never forget that day. I will never forget that day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is this?
Tom says, do you remember Benji Wilson out of Chicago? That brother was going to be the next best thing. Let me see. Rest in peace, Ben Wilson. And ask Kendall Gill about that guy. You know, any Chicago player.
Don't know him.
Any Chicago. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, a lot of great basketball players are known to come from Chicago, right? But I'm not down with this guy right here, though.
I'm gonna tell you what I'm going to do though, Tom. I'm a YouTube Ben Wilson. I'm Benji Wilson or Ben Wilson. I'm a YouTuber. See if there's any kind of footage out there on him.
Yeah, no doubt. Let me see. Yeah, and so what Soul Auctioneer says white folks in Iowa were stunned and saddened. Yeah.
About Lenny passing?
Yeah, man. Yeah. I didn't know the impact he had, though. You know, just here, you know what I mean? Just here in Maryland, we knew.
Yeah. So I told you guys I grew up in Minnesota, but I actually went to college in Iowa. And I was in Iowa when that happened.
Wow.
And yeah, I mean it was huge everywhere.
Yeah. Okay. We just being in Baltimore, we felt that, but we didn't know the impact outside of Baltimore or the ACC. We kind of, you know what I mean, like anything on the up and down the East Coast.
And another death that got us was Reggie Lewis, because he was from Baltimore.
Right.
And when he stumbled, when that first time he stumbled, that really didn't think much of it, you know. But
that was such a scary video. I've only seen that like once or twice. I can't watch that anymore.
Yeah, I can't watch it now.
Can't watch it.
Nope.
That just scares the heck out of me.
Yeah. And what didn't Hank Gathers also pass?
During a basketball game, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, at Loyola Marymount.
Yeah, remember they was all shooting left-hand free throws in his honor?
That's right. Yeah. And they made it. Did they make it to the Final Four or just the Sweet 16?
I'm not sure.
But they're playing for Hank. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see. Oh, so Eastside Legend said that he said he think there is a documentary about this guy Benji. So
that name sounds familiar, but I don't remember him.
Yeah, and Mr. Soul Auctioneer said, did you guys ever hear of Chris Street? Now, where's Chris Street? Jim, you know about Chris Street?
That name, I've heard that name before, but I can't place it. Chris Street. I heard that name before.
Okay, so let me see. Standout player for the Iowa Hawkeyes. He was walking along a street when he got killed by a snowplow.
Wow.
Oh, okay. So
I can remember that, but I was already down here in Kansas when that happened.
Let me see. At Iowa Patrick, he knew about it though. He said Street was a tragic accident hit by a snowplow. Okay. Only 21 years old. No, I never heard about that though. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Let me ask y'all this real quick though. They're saying that Shedeur Sanders might start. Do y'all think Shedeur is ready to start for the Cavaliers? So it's some whispers out there that this kid might start.
I mean,
I haven't seen anything.
And for the most part, he's just been running with the second team.
That sounds like a little hype.
Yes, I think it's a stretch when you say somebody. You go directly from the second team to, they talk about you.
What's the guy on the facility? James. He used to be a wide receiver for Green Bay. He played with Aaron Rodgers. James somebody. I can't think of his last name. He made an excellent point this week. He said, if Shedeur start, that means Kevin Stefanski has more leeway with the team. But if Pickens start, his job is on the line. I thought that was an excellent point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So whoever starts going to tell you a lot about Kevin Stefanski's position with the team. And even if they tell him he got leeway, that don't mean he has it, but that'll be a great indicator. But yeah, but they saying Joe is out of the picture.
Yeah. So
And I'm shocked at that because he already played a year under that system and they did well. They went to the playoffs. I'm surprised, but maybe Cleveland just wants to develop their young talent and, throw it into the fire a little bit,
I've said it several times on this podcast. I do not like that style. Yeah. Jaden Daniels was an outlier. You're not going to get success doing that.
Well, you've had some teams that did it before Jaden come along. Pittsburgh did it with Ben. Baltimore did it with Joe. The Colts did it with Peyton. Sometimes you got to just,
not in today's game. Today's game, it's an outlier, in my opinion.
Yeah.
In today's game, yeah.
But see, I think all these pro teams are adapting college systems. So it's an easier transition for these kids. I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure.
Man, Mr.
Especially if you got a good team around them.
Mr. Soul Auction's my neighbor. He's just across the river. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I just wanted to throw that question in there, though, man. For that,
Yeah, I don't think he's going to start.
Yeah, I was thinking it was a stretch, though. This guy coming from working out with the second team.
And didn't Bo Nix start last year?
Yeah, several games. Yeah.
Did he start the season starting?
No.
Who started?
Now I'm gonna have to look that up. I'm pretty sure he didn't start the year.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure they played Baltimore early and he was the quarterback.
Maybe I could be wrong.
Yeah.
And he did well.
Well, he did well towards the end of the season.
I think he did well. They were in the play. Yeah, well, have a way. It's gonna be an orientation period. The game's gonna have to slow down to some degree.
Yeah.
But and Trevor Lawrence, they threw him into the fire. Now, last year wasn't a good indicator, but that second year he had was great. I don't know, man. I think either one can work, Jim. It just depends on the player.
It does. You're right. I mean, that is, yeah. You have to have the right player. You have to have the right situation. And it's not a hard and fast rule. I just worry about rushing the wrong guy in and breaking him before he's ready.
Yeah, James Jones is who I'm talking about. You're right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're right, Jim. You know the wrong player. But see, this is where your personnel guy has to be really good.
Yeah.
You have to be really good.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. I was going to ask y'all something. Oh, now what do y'all think about? All right, this game coming up soon with between the Fever and the Lynx. What's y'all take on that game coming up soon? Like, who do y'all think is going to be?
The Lynx are rolling. I'm going with my home team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't think Caitlin plays.
Yeah.
I think the Lynx won. Even if Caitlin played, I'm not so sure about this game.
Yeah.
The Lynx are, they want to bet. They loaded, man. McBride and Courtney Williams and Fee and the coach and the defense, and they're one of the best defenses in the league. So yeah, I give it to the Lynx. But I would say if Caitlin was 100% healthy, it would be something to watch. But I don't think Caitlin plays in this game.
Yeah. So retro hairstylist says reports today from Cleveland, Stefanski and Barry are confident in Flacco.
Well, there you have it.
Yeah.
Earlier this week, they was talking like Flacco was out of the picture.
Yeah.
And to me, that shocked me because he already played under this system. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
We'll see. Cleveland need a running game. That's what Cleveland need. They lost Nick Chubb. They need a running game.
Yeah.
Yep. They do. They do need a running game. What my man Tom says, let me see. I'm not dumb, and even if Caitlin was playing, she would give them a better chance to win, but I got Minnesota.
Yeah.
I think I can go for that too. I got Minnesota too.
Right now, at this stage,
yeah,
you know,
Minnesota they are on a mission because you know what I mean. It just seems like Fia's on a mission. The whole team is on a mission.
Yeah. At this stage, but I do recall Indiana getting a win against them last year. And if they didn't bring in all these new pieces, they had more team chemistry. I think they could have given them a better run. But at this stage,
So, McGinty, Iron Balls McGinty says that if the Fever was 100%, he would take them, right? I just think that, man, you
Minnesota got too much team chemistry, too much team familiarity.
Yeah.
They a well-oiled machine at this point. And Indiana got new pieces. I just know.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
So
what's this? You can't pass in the cold.
In Cleveland.
Oh yeah. Joe can throw that thing in anything. Joe can throw the ball in anything. We witnessed that here in Baltimore. The wind, the rain, none of that affected that big arm. He wasn't the smartest guy out there on the field, but he had that big arm, boy.
Yeah, he could throw any weather.
Yeah, he cut through. Yeah, so.
Yeah, man. So
yes, that's facts.
Yeah.
No, that's facts. He never did tell me if he was from Iowa or not.
No, he said he was from across the I had that.
Oh, he was from Iowa.
He was from Iowa, but he lives across the river from Leavenworth, which is in Kansas. So he's on the Missouri side.
Okay.
He's not far from me.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
All right. Let me see. Retro Hairstylist says, have you guys seen an interview with Christine Brennan or Natasha Howard's interview with I saw that interview with Natasha Howard and Sue Bird, right? And see, that's what I brought up early in the program, because I just thought that from some of the things that Natasha Howard said, that she was kind of promised some things to come and play, with the Fever. So yeah, I didn't see the Christine Brennan one though.
Now I saw that one this morning.
Christine
Brennan. And the interesting thing about that, what I said yesterday about DeWanna Bonner not being comfortable with the spotlight, Christine Brennan made that same suggestion.
Yeah.
Yep, same suggestion. Yeah. She was at the game, because she's a journalist. She was at that game. She made the same suggestion. Yeah, I watched that this morning though, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that I was just surprised to hear that about DeWanna Bonner being like surprised at like the reception with her being 37 years old, being in the league. How long has she been in the league? Like 12 years or so?
15 years. 15 years.
15 years. I was kind of surprised at that reaction to the attention.
Well,
No.
Go ahead.
No, you said it yesterday. That they haven't been playing in the big spotlights up until this new set of eyes, right? And so, if it's been 15 years, you're still not used to the big arenas and the 20,000+ crowds.
Yeah, Mike. If we left Northern Gym, we playing games in Northern, and then we got to go down Dunbar.
It's different.
And that packed spot.
It's different.
Feels totally different.
Yeah, you're right. It is different. It's different.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So at Garland and Farm said that leaving the Fever is CeCe's only sane option. She just too naive at this stage to realize it. I just think, as far as her being naive, I just think that she got some good people around her, whereas though and she rely on, their experience and their knowledge,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean
So
the future's not set. It could go any
It's
number of
not.
ways.
Yeah.
Any number of ways. Yeah.
Yeah. And I just say to all the Caitlin Clark fans and Indiana Fever fans, you guys got to hang in there and know that she means so much to that organization and the W that they are going to get it right. Like, this is just the beginning stages and it's growing pains and it hurts and people are holding on to stuff. But all that stuff will be cleaned up at some point. I guarantee you that.
Yeah.
It sucks until it doesn't.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think they don't have no choice but to clean it up, though. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I mean, it's better for the league.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm looking to see them build a dynasty in Indiana. Y'all don't seem to think. I think a dynasty would really save the WNBA. It will raise the level of play, and it'll save the WNBA.
I think these young girls coming in, I think the talent, all that's raising the play.
Yeah.
You get some good officiating, the parity around. It's so much parity in this league, Mike. It's going to be hard to build a dynasty. I'm not going to lie to you.
It is. It is.
And the W is really going to be hard.
In this day and age, I think it is going to be
Yeah.
hard.
In the NBA, it was a little easier. Them guys had free movement. They was teaming up, building super teams and stuff like that. Not in the W. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the pipeline seems to be full. The pipeline is got lots of good talent coming in.
Yeah. I think so what does Sophie's driver says, will any other team in the WNBA treat Caitlin any better at this point? Is CC even allowed to go to any other team in the WNBA? So that would be a chance that she would be taken if she chose to leave the WNBA.
Yep.
Right?
That's a great point.
Ain't no it's nothing guaranteed. You know what I mean?
And then, go ahead, Mike. I'm sorry.
And then remember, some coaches don't want that responsibility or might see it as a headache. Like, I know that Cheryl Reeves would want nothing to do with coaching Caitlin Clark. Nothing to do with that. Even though, she, like you said, she moved the needle, but I don't think she would want nothing to do with coaching Caitlin.
And it's not Caitlin Clark. It's the fans.
Yeah.
It's the fans. I think she's coachable. It's the fans, the pressure you be under, the microscope you'll be under. And then teammates. Just like DeWanna came there and realized, oh my God, this ain't nothing to play with.
Yeah.
Those other guys going to another team. I don't know if they'd be so receptive to having that come to their team and be under that microscope. That's not easy to play under, man.
No, you damn near gotta be a Phil Jackson. Whereas though you managing a superstar, then you managing like the other players on your team.
Yes.
You managing the media. So, and people don't really respect, like Phil Jackson did a lot, he as far as like getting Michael on the same page. Then, you know what I mean, you're gonna have malcontents or people who may think that you're showing privilege or favoritism to Mike. And so that'll be like the same thing with what Caitlin is going through. That's a tough coaching job.
Yeah, Lisa Bluter did an outstanding job at it.
Yep.
She really did. She did an outstanding job. She sat Caitlin down. They did videotape with her. They showed her body language. They showed her how affected they got her to buy in, and they did an excellent job with her. They managed her from a psychological standpoint. That's what Phil did too. So remember a couple weeks back, we was talking about man thought that Jordan made Scotty, and I was like, no, he helped Scotty tap in. But the real person that really helped Scotty was Phil, because Phil approached things from a psychological standpoint. He did meditation, visualization. He taught those guys how to slow the game down. He got them to go within themselves to pull something out. So I think Phil deserves more credit for Scotty getting over his playoff woes more than Mike.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Yeah, that's just a tough job that I don't think like a lot of coaches are going to sign up for that.
Yeah, yeah,
My man
yeah.
Kent Carlson says that Caitlin Clark, one true rock that stays in the background is Connor.
Oh,
I
her
don't know.
boyfriend.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's the guy. He also went to Iowa. He played
Yeah,
ball
He
too,
did.
right?
He did,
yeah,
and he graduated before she did. He was already in Indiana working for
with the Pacers.
the
Yeah,
Pacers.
yeah.
He's now coaching. I think he's back in Iowa coaching somewhere.
I think he coaches. I
I
don't know
thought he
where.
was coaching at Butler.
That
Okay.
okay? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew he was coaching. I just didn't know where he was coaching.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just a big part of like who you like your circle, right? You surround yourself, and like we mentioned earlier about like the fact that her father, you know what I mean, like is got her ear, and then Lisa Bluter, you know what I mean, well respected, and so I think she's going to get good advice. It'll be so hard to steer her wrong because she just got so many, she just got so many people that she trusts in her circle, so many good people in her circle. So yeah. But, yeah, I forgot about, she's not married to him though, is she?
No.
Oh, okay, all right.
Not yet.
Yeah. So I think if they get married, she might even get discriminated against even more if she get married. I ain't gonna start that. I ain't gonna start that conversation though.
Hey, they already starting this rumor that she eyeing up other girls, like she got some secret lesbian thing in her already. They starting that online, man.
Yeah.
I mean, we touched a little bit on it yesterday. I mean, that's why I said the culture is just a little bit different.
Yeah.
In the W, and it's you have to navigate that culture differently than the other professional sports leagues.
And I got a friend. You guys know who my friend is. I'm not gonna say his name on here, but he told me we were watching the first New York Liberty game. We were sitting here watching it. He told me she's getting a hard time because the young ladies in the league, they like to flip you and turn you into that. And she's resisting it a little bit. That's why she's getting a hard time. Like that was his opinion. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I just I shouldn't have said that, but
And I know it's just like that. And some believe this is why Paige is so well not targeted and accepted because she's already back.
Yeah.
She fits the culture. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, but let me see. Ken Catch and Kill says that can CC leave? She can play in Europe and China. She earns most of her wealth from sponsorships. The salary, now that's true. She do get most of the wealth from sponsorship. The salary of playing basketball is not significant. Thus, she can play in Turkey or Spain just fine. Yeah, that I mean, because and what gives her most leverage is her fan base.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? She could pack that up and take that anywhere, her fan base. So yeah. It's just a new day and age for these,
I tell you what, if she did go overseas and play, they would find a way to air those games on American television.
Yeah, I think you're right. I even said that a few weeks ago that she could air her games.
Yeah,
they would air them games.
But I just go back to the I don't think that's her desire.
Yeah,
because she's not chasing money, she's not chasing sponsorship, she's chasing her dream.
Right.
And the W has always been her dream.
Yeah.
And right now there's you said it, Clayton, there's some growing pains, there's some roadblocks. Everybody's gonna readjust, work through it, make the best of it, because I think everybody understands there's money to be made in that dream.
Right.
Yeah. So they said CC all about that man. That
I
man.
believe that. I was just saying, with these internet, you know how the internet is.
Yeah.
Right.
They catch her looking and They got one down. I heard looking at Kelsey Plum trying to say that's something, man.
Yeah.
From the other night, man. The internet is crazy, man. Yeah. So yeah, I agree. I think she is too, but you know. And then they caught Sophie. She was signing the autograph. Sophie came behind and did something, the back of her neck and something. They try to make that something, you know. So
yeah.
Hey.
I think Sophie is also engaged too, though. I think.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
However she's dealing with is real secret. Yeah.
Yeah, I think because I thought I saw a post from Sophie Cunningham that said that
No, that was Lexi Hall. She got engaged. That was Lexi Hall. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
That was Lexi Hall. But I was surprised to find out Kate Martin was. I'm not, but I was. I didn't think she was until it came out. Yeah. So, you know, but to each his own, man. Everybody deserves to be happy.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
No doubt.
Yeah.
So fellas, man, I appreciate y'all. Appreciate everybody in the chat. East Side Legend, my man Kent Carlson, retro hairstylist, appreciate you. What was it? Jamin Bowman, Time,
Mr. Soul Auctioneer.
Yeah, Soul Auctioneer. Yeah, we appreciate all y'all support, man. All y'all contributions to the conversation.
My dude, Iron Balls McGinty.
Yeah.
Contributing.
Who else is in here, man? It was quite a few people in here today. Iowa Patrick, appreciate you. Catch and Kill. Yeah, man.
Jeff G.
Oh, yeah. Let me see.
Trader Grimm.
All
right, Trader Grimm. Let me see. Garland and Farms. Also. So we appreciate everybody, man, who participate. Also, just make sure to like and subscribe. Help the channel grow. You know what I mean? Tell somebody about the, about the content. Like I said, we appreciate everybody who, because a lot of times people in the chat come up with some, with some, and that's what it's all about, like the conversation. You know what I mean? So we're coming with some topics and stuff, but then people like Time and Mr. Auctioneer and Madhouse, you know what I mean? All these people come in and they contribute, and we wind up having a great show just like we did today. So yeah, man. Make sure to like and subscribe and tune in Saturdays at 1 p.m., Sunday at 11 a.m.
And we'll be back next weekend to talk about whatever's hot this week.
Something's gonna blow.
Something's gonna jump off. That's right. Y'all have a good one, man.
Yeah, man. Y'all have a good one. Appreciate y'all.
Yep.
Enjoy y'all day, folks.
Yep.